What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome. It's AmmaJamma here. I'm sorry I'm not on camera today. Anyone who joined me yesterday, I kept complaining about my eyes watering. I have pink eye in one of my eyes, so we will not be on camera today. I'll be back camera ready next Tuesday. But let's get started right now. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Well, I have this chart up, so I guess you guys are going to get exclusive. If you're not part of the Discord, you're going to get an exclusive swing alert I just put out, and it's on Megal here, which is known to crank. It's just an interesting setup here because the last two times we bounced off our 55 MA and then crossed over the 21, we blasted. So we did it again. We picked up that 55. We're on the verge of crossing that 21, breaking bullish out of that 21. So it's an interesting setup. Your safer setup's going to be above 270 or above the 21 on the 4-hour chart. But anyway, we're not talking about swings. We're talking about day trades here. Let's get to it. All right. So here we go. Here we go. Let's put up the SPY first, like we do every day, and we will go from there. SPY is ripping. We are over $400. Obviously, we're sitting right at that. This is a weak argument to me. The whole, well, we are above this trend line because 3 days of 365 days of trend being like where last week 400 was resistance, but yet 3 days later it's support. That's a weak argument. This is all pretty much the same area. I always tell you guys with these long term support trends, give yourself a little breathing room on either side. So we're going to say, for the sake of argument, 398 to 402 is right at that trend line. What we need to see that impulsive break. These aren't it, guys. When I talk about that strong impulsive move and the retest, I don't believe this was it. Of course, we could get a strong push to 410 right now. We know that. But what I wanted to see was an impulsive move like this candle right here, that where we went to 408. Do you see how when we broke out of it? It was pure impulse. I mean, that day it was a massive, massive push. We haven't quite had that. We had a couple nice days here. We're teetering like right at the trend line, a little above the trend line at 400. I want to see us with a massive impulsive move where we actually push and maintain over 402. Then I want to come back and test this trend line. That's where the market decides where it wants to go. But keep in mind, if we get too bullish too quick, our recession is going to be nasty. There's a reason the market's kept down during recession. And if you don't understand what I mean when I say that, dig into it. Maybe I'll do a little pop-up in the Discord about recession versus the market, because if we see a rip run in market up to the 430, 420 levels, I think our bottom goes even lower than 345. That's just the reality of it. We can't have too much. It has to stabilize a little bit. Anyway, let's get to our charts, our day trades. Here we go. MLGO's ripping right now. We played that in Discord. Mr. SLP had a trade out. I had it on my watch list as well. Already instantly we see this double top here. Obviously, I want 3 touch points for a trend line, but when we have 2 strong tops like this, we're obviously pop a line on that. And at the same thing at the bottom here, from the beginning of the trend to here, we can see a little bit of a trend channel we're hanging out in. So that tells me a couple things. First of all, we're going to watch our high from last peak, and we're going to watch that impulsive push back over our 312. Those are 2 immediate areas we're watching in the market open. And then our secondary area is going to be the next, this next point right here. All right. So we got a major point of confluence here. We've got the peak high with this double top coming together here. So that's what we're watching. This is the trend channel we're essentially watching. And then just for good luck, we'll put our third line at this third random peak on the pullback. So these are major zones that we want to watch for bounce with a hold for the entries. I personally believe with the volume pouring into this, I like this one. Let me see what the float. Let's look at our float-a-rooney. Now, oh wow, is this a micro float? It is a micro float. Okay, we got a micro float on our hands, boys and girls. That's what we want to see. This thing can absolutely freaking rip on low volume, but it could dip really, really badly on low volume as well. This is top to watch. I'm expecting an absolutely ripping candle. Notice I'm not saying up or down. I want to see what it does that first 2 minutes before I tell you whether we think we're going to go up or down. But we're going to get some movement on this one today, folks. This is exciting. I love getting a little micro cap ripping in the morning. When you have a micro cap, and I'm talking cap under 5 million for a micro cap. And then where you look at those right here, you can see your free float and your free float micro cap. Your free float's 845K. Your free float market cap's 1.41. Those are two you're looking for. We are got a teeny tiny float here. That's what we want to see. That makes me very, very excited here. That makes me way more into taking a immediate entry if we break over our high or we bounce off any of these zones here. We could flush immediately down to our lower trend line and take that bounce, but it's definitely one to watch. These are our entry zones. An established support right where we're at here, and then a bounce above, say, 290, 295, our bounce on this area here, and then above 275, or our bounce area here, and above 245. Those are our three zones we're watching. Very, very interesting. Teeny tiny cap. That's what we want to see. UTRS, a little bit all over the place with this. High peaks and then come down. High peak and come down, which tells me two things. A, it's very responsive to your volume peaks every time. You can see the little peaks in volume here and there. We've got a really strong floor, though, pre-market. So that's what we're watching, our floor. We lose this floor, I think we easily come down at least to, say, 48 cents. So that's the second area we'll watch, around 47.5, 48 cents. But it's acting a little spicy right now. I mean, honestly. So for this one, I want to see, I'm not necessarily holding to these peak highs because 75 cents versus 60 cents is 15 cents. That's 25% up, guys, to wait for those peak highs. What we want to see is a break and a hold over our 200. So I like entry right around, say our 62.5 cent area is where I like entry. And then if we can make a strong authoritative move back over the VWAP after that, I think we could mess with these little peaks, our mountain peaks here, these three peaks. So that's what we're looking at. And then I would start scaling out at 70 cents because we could have a little bit of issue getting over that area here. So that's what we're watching. We want that. And it's kind of breaking right now. It's definitely acting interesting. But if we start to sell off at market open, let's watch for that bounce at that 55 cent level. BuzzFeed, buzz. Love BuzzFeed. BuzzFeed is writing. I used to write for BuzzFeed, guys, back in the day. Little thing about Amy here. I'm a writer as well. I'll never tell you guys my pen name or anything else, but I did used to write for BuzzFeed. Quite a few different things I've written. So just a little Amy news. That's what we're watching right here, BuzzFeed. Right there. That's it. This line. That's our main watch. And then obviously our resistance point here. That's what we want to see. Those two areas right here. That's really all I'm watching. This one's very all over the place. Had some news, was popping up in socials. I think this is a stock that we could end up with some long-term continuation. I'm curious what the cap is on this one and the float. 55 mil. Nothing special. So those are the areas I'm kind of watching. You could tell by just the sporadic nature of the candles and how they are moving pre-market. It's not one that has me necessarily excited. But if we come down, test this line or lose our line, remember our test retest rules. If we lose this trend line, come up and retest it, that's where you either take your entry into the long or you're short and ride that baby down. QM's another one that's been kind of just uptrending all day, and it's above 10. It's a stock that's above $15. Obviously, we have stocks that can move great in this price range, but a lot of people like those $5 and under. It's at the most $10 and under on our penny stocks. So let's watch for that over 15.25, and let's get some likes on these videos, guys. Y'all sit here. We got comments open. Talk to each other, talk to me. I'm reading the comments the whole time. Let's flip the likes on these videos. The more likes I get, the longer I'm going to start streaming in the future. So if you like these videos and we get the likes and we get the views, I can do this half the day, guys. Let's be real. I can talk. So anyone from the Discord knows how I am. So let's see that that people are here wanting to watch it. So anyway, let's watch that 1525. Really, that's the only thing I'm watching it for the most part right here on this one. Little bit of a, little ascending wedge forming, sniffing that, which is indicating a little bearish to me. Nothing I'm overly excited about, to be real. We've got a clear support here as well. So you know the routine. We want to see a bounce off this area here, or we want to see an impulsive break above our strongest resistance point here. In between these two areas, unless it's taking off the bounce, we don't want to take entries anywhere in here. This is our no zone. We're not touching that. All right. Let's see math. Let me switch this. Is this right? It is pre-market. Because they're out of order, which is throwing me off a little bit here, to be honest. All right. AUDD, we've got 3 minutes. Let me pick a couple others. What strikes? APCX is one that's just been on a rip for a very, very, very long time. We're at 522. This is one that we were personally throwing out alerts at 60 cents. I mean, you're up like 900% on this thing with no options if you bought into that position. So we're looking through these charts here. This is interesting as well. Actually, it's the 1 minute. So this just happened in the last couple minutes here. All right. This is a big watch for me, this AUDD, because it's just broke out in the last 5 minutes. I like instant entry above our wick high. So that one's definitely interesting, maybe because it's just started breaking out just in the last couple minutes from 812 to 826. So I like that, quite interesting here. If we break over that wick high 168, even let's watch this wick high as well and see if it reacts in an interesting way at this point as well. There we go. All right, so let's come back and check on our stocks. We hit our resistance, and we're hanging out this area here. So now, if we pop immediately at open, I like it over 293. 293 is what I'm looking at for our MLGO at market open. Remember, it's a teeny tiny micro cap, so that's what we're doing here with this one. BTCY is nothing special to me. This is very low volume. It gave back almost all the pop from earlier. If anything, watch it over 95.5 cents. The chart doesn't really do much for me right now, other than the fact that, yes, it has some really nice volume. Absolutely. But at this point here, it gave up so much that above 95 cents is when I actually do like it for a position. That's what I'd watch for on BTCY. I was looking at that one earlier before I went live. We got a little head and shoulders sniff look here. So let's see what happens. We're gonna watch this one in the market open because of the float. Obviously we know our levels for MLGO. We got UTRS hanging out right at our range here. Let's move this up a little bit. Let's make our entry 64 cents on that one. We got our BuzzFeed. We're watching to see what happens here. Take the entry above our trend line as well. QM, we've got our entry 1525. We're watching. Math we didn't go over. AUDD, we know our entries as well. It's coming right down though. So this one is not as exciting as it was. So now I'm going to pull this down to 140. 140 is my area I'm watching. Let's get this going. We got the market opening in a few seconds here. And so for our entry here, let's pop this up for 290 on MLGO. Give it a little room. This one's gonna be interesting. We're gonna get some high volume. Yeah, we're already at 364,000 the first 10 seconds. You could see just, and not too much, not too terrible of an order book yet. Our second level is okay. We've got some orders floating in the distance, 12K, 3K. We'll see if these are real orders or phantom orders. We'll see what happens the next couple minutes here. BuzzFeed looks like it did take a bounce off our trend line here. So if you ended up getting an entry, say at 130 area, watch and see what happens. He'd be very careful. A lot of rejection. We had that wick up and immediately pop back down. At this point, I wouldn't touch an entry below 135 if you're not already in it. Let's put that MLGO back. I like this. I like to see it sell off a little. I want to get a true established support before we take that entry. So, all right. So here comes BuzzFeed back up again. Floating. We got that 135 entry. Very, very erratic chart here. We've got the candle behaving the way I like to see it. We got a 35K 120 order. Do not like that. I don't like seeing that 35K right here and a 13K both stacked up with nothing on the ask. Plus two massive, massive wicks at the top of these candles. Be very, very careful on BuzzFeed, guys. All right, so this one, we've got that wick. We're watching here. This is our bounce zone here. So honestly, at this point here, I like it above 60 cents for entry. Let's put this right at 60 cents. If we get above 60 cents, I like the entry there. I want to see us 2/3 back up the body of that candle for the push. All right, so BuzzFeed is going to make a strong decision move here in the next minute or two, guys. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. There we go. All right, there's our push. We got to break this wick high. We got to get up to this area here pretty stinking quickly, or we're going to have trouble. And it could take a lot of these charts, guys. Don't give up when we go off the air. Over the last few days, I've watched everything from COSM 2 days ago, end up with 65% potential when it finally did hit our entry. Like, you can use these entries for quite a bit of the day. All right. Like, don't just give up. Look at things like, GNS last week's perfect example. Don't just say, oh, we had that 15 minutes. We're done. These areas matter throughout the day. Some of these take forever to get to our entry, and then it takes entry and it continues on for the next 2 hours. And there's like 60, 70, 80% potential. We're scalping these first few minutes. But at the same time, we got to make sure that we're watching what's happening here. This BuzzFeed is definitely interesting. All right, so here's our pop. If you got in your entry at that 290 here, you're already up 6 or 7%. This is what we're looking for. I don't like these wicks, top of these candles. We need to get that strong push up over our 315 area very soon. This is a chart you could play all day long. You could stay on this one chart, establish your levels. When we're open for 2 hours, pop on that 15-minute chart, find your major resistance and support levels, or the 5-minute chart. Either one is fine. You could do it all day long. All right, so 60 cents entry on this one. We went up to like 60, so about 8% already from the 60-cent entry. We hit 8% on that wick high. Let's see what happens the next couple minutes. And on this one, of course, we know we had about a 5% there from our entry. Let's push, baby. This thing needs to start feathering in. Let's chomp that 17K. Ooh, they're adding to it. They're trying to push it down. Did you see how this second level right here? They're adding to it. Now it's 18. Then it's eating it up. All right, so it's eating it up. Are they going to add to it again? No, it's eating it this time. They quit adding to it. They were adding to it, and they stopped doing it, and the stock's eating it up without getting pushed back too much. That's nice. We like to see that. All right, so we got 8,200 to 312 there. We're watching as well. Nothing crazy though. I mean, nothing crazy. So it took that sell, it ate it, and it's popping back now. So let's watch. We've got our pickup zones. Obviously, we already had our 8 to 9% potential on that. Remember, these are scalps, guys. Be very quick with your in and outs. Do not give up on the chart though. That's not what I'm saying. We've got quite a bit that we could do with this chart. This is still sitting in its way. It's consolidating. Honestly, what you could do with this, you put this line a little tighter, and you could even make a case for here's our little tightening area that we're sitting in right now. I know it's, and see what it does, where it pops out of this area. And when it does pop, it's going to be impulsive. That's inevitable. That's going to happen. I think this one has legs on it still. That's a big float, but we know we know short selling, we know institutional selling, we know all those, so be aware of that as well. Anyone who's in that Tesla swing, make sure you get your profits as well. Please get your profits. All right, let's see what else is going on here. All right, so there's our pop. Well, again, we want to see that strong push now on BuzzFeed. There we go. And we've got this majorly zoomed in. But that was still 5%. 7 cents is 5% when you're at $1.38. So there we go. There, that's what we want to see. Getting over this $1.40. If we could break over our $1.40 and hold above $1.37, we're looking good, baby. We're looking good. So that's already 10% from our bounce off our lower trend line here. And you're already at 6 or 7% from our break of our wedge. Beautiful. Look at that flickering. Do you see that flickering? That's what you want to see. And look at how fast this time in sales is just flying through without too many major walls. We do have a 42K at $1.53, which can hurt it a little bit. But in general, that was a really strong couple candles. Of course, you get exhaustion candles. You have to come back. Not every stock is going to have 6, 7, 8 candles like that. Not every morning is going to have 6, 7, 8, 9 pushes like that. So our MLGO is definitely selling off at this point, which is what I want to see to get the best entry, to get that secondary push, which is the cleaner push. $1.45. We'll keep this one on right now because it's still pushing. So you're up over 10%, 8 to 10%, depending on your entry here. We had 3 different levels I gave. I've got to watch this one. Okay, so at this point here, let's make our buy zone here. And let's back up a little bit. Let's remember our lines. Here's our bounce line. Here's our bounce line. This is a little teeny tiny micro float, so it can spin on a dime up or down. Obviously we only got 4, 5, 6% off our entries there. Nothing fantastic. This still is the stock with the most potential. All right, so this is trying to break out instead of being a little spindle top candle here. So we want to see this push. It can't dump it. I like that it's not immediately turning red, but it can quickly. And we're getting some support here, or resistance, excuse me, at this double top candle. I need a ticker. I'm going through like 5 different charts, so I don't know what entry for this. I don't know what ticker you're referring to. I'm sorry. I need a ticker in the chat because we're talking about 4 or 5 different charts. There we go. So market's flying. I cannot wait to go trade some options in the Discord, guys. It's killing me right now not to be trading options. But if you guys want to make the big bangers options, come check us out in the Discord. I'm going to put my shameless plug while we watch this. Go to pbalerts.com and use code Amy30 for 30% off any package. And I'm telling you what, one options live trade will pay for your monthly subscription on a $100 trade. I literally would be flabbergasted to see that not happen. And you DM me if it didn't happen, and I'll hook you up with a one-on-one. Anyone that's not sure, come check us out. Anyone from free, sign up for the premium. DM me in the Discord, AmmaJamma. I will stop with my shameless plugs now, but you guys are missing the big boy trades. These are just a tease. So MLGO had hit that 315. Let's see what else we got here. I'm gonna flip this one to the day. One day, let's put it up. So we don't have too much. I mean, we've got our BuzzFeed, which, trading sideways here. This tide looks decent. If you took your entry, obviously we had our do not touch zone. So if you took that entry over that 31 cents, you're up about 10% right now from your entry. Or if you waited for our bounce, you took the 29-cent entry, you're up about 15%. That candle's acting quite nasty, and we had a 4 million 1 minute candle with 4 million volume. That's massive. So if you missed your entry, you might get a second chance here. But if you did get your entry, you were up about anywhere from 10 to 15%, depending on if you took that bottom bounce or you waited to break over our entry at 31.5 cents. So let's see if we bounce in this area again here. if we straight lose that. So this would be your bounce zone. And I would like entry at 0.307. Let's say 0.307 for a second chance entry on this one. Definitely interesting here. BuzzFeed's still holding up. We just hit a higher high here on BuzzFeed. Looks very strong. So our MLGO here, we have our entry set up at 276, 277. That's our entry. BuzzFeed's still pushing. This one, yeah. We bounced. I gave the lower zone too. If you took the lower zone bounce, you're up in 5% right now, even though it was quite quiet. So this one, I don't like what it's doing right here. This one could realistically come down. That was a major, major support zone we needed to see. So our wick low is right where we're at right now. We need to bounce in this area immediately and then push back up. And I want to see, I want to see us all the way up over 30 cents before I would even think about taking an entry. Oh, my mic fell, guys. Hold on. Sorry. There we go. All right. See what's going on here. All right, so MLGO, I like it here. I like what this chart's doing. Let's just, we want to make sure we break over those wick highs, 275, before we take that entry. But overall, a lot of stocks we don't have a lot. When the market's really hot, like, Tesla being up 10%, sometimes those day traders, our penny stocks, don't rip as well those days. So we'll watch and see what happens. And as you can see here, we might dump right now on this one. That's why we were waiting to break over this little sideways trading area before we take that entry. So if you're in BZFD, I would have obviously scaled out of at least 75% of your position at this 10 to 15%, depending on your entry. And then I would scale out of the rest if we lose this area right there. That's my quick answer of what I'm looking at. This area, we're trading sideways here. Your safer entry is going to be here. Your riskier entry is off these bounces here. If you're playing zone recovery bounces, but it's a very risky game. And I would immediately sell if you lose 55 cents. Yeah, tide came all the way down. Hammer candle. Let's watch the next couple candles, see what happens. We got a slow roll on NMRD. Nothing too exciting, guys. Nothing too exciting. I'm looking. Couple 10, 15%ers, but we can't hate that. You can't, on an equity trade, everybody's used to options. We're skewed. Our minds are skewed. 10, 12% on an option equity trade in 20 minutes is insane. Insane. Most scalpers are taking 0.5%, 1%, holding the trade 2-3 minutes. This and that. We're giving you where you don't panic sell something like this right here. We gave that loss of support zone. So you didn't end up selling it, losing 3-4%, because we have a second candle come up. We know what we're watching for. We see this very clearly now. We know if we break this 150 wick high, we should push at least 5% from there. We could break that 150 wick high in the next 2-3 minutes. I think easily we crack 162. I really do. We've got nice volume in here. Let's watch our MLGL. Still at that 260 level. I'm not lowering my entry. Her entry is 275. There we go. Here it goes. Come on. Don't prove me wrong, guys. Let's go. This is gonna crack 160. It might not do it the next 5 minutes. Oh, it's time to go to Discord. Watch for 160 here. I want you guys to DM me in the Discord, AmmaJamma. If we hit 160, I'm going to give away $50 to someone. If we hit 160 on this stock, everybody DM me. I'm going to do a giveaway next week on the stream. I'll see you guys in the Discord. Peace out.